Tai instantly kicking no shield calling. Just the weather the opponent is going to get farmed down, so they switch out into Polygraph. There's no bait on this channel, but does the opponent respect the damage? They do not. High Polygraph, buy Polygraph. So, welcome back to the home of Shadow Pokemon. It's been a few days since I've uploaded, and that was because I was away at regionals that were held in Liverpool, England. So if you're wondering how I got on, or you'd like to know my thoughts, go check out my community tab where I did put quite a detailed post on how the event went. Spoiler alert, it was about as good as a standard GBL match, need I say any more. But in today's video, my good friend Ty, the King of Entertainment, said, I have a triple Shadow team that goes on an absolute tear up. So without any further ado, let's get into the battles. And in game one, it's the battle of the grass types. Abomasnow does hit Cradilly for super effective due to our ice subtyping. However, King Cradilly with its rock type coverage can one-shot us with the Stone Edge tie. Shields up a potential Stone Edge and we get baited with a grass knot. You hate to see it. Tie throws Weather Ball. Number 2, Cradilly is now going to commit its final shields. Tie is going to switch out into Kingdra, not wanting to go all shields down Kingdra, not the bulkest. We do tank the Stone Edge. The opponent needs to switch out or they're going to get farmed down. They switch out super late into Lantern. Lantern pretty thick, but their on shield and outrage is going to do huge damage. Lantern does commit to the Spark farm down. However, this energy is pretty useless as Abomasnow does wall absolutely everything. Surf does absolutely nothing. Even if the opponent went for Thunderbolt, Grass does resist electrics. That would also do nothing. We tank the second Surf commit to the Powder Snow farm down. Cradilly does have a move, but they are going to lose CMP, so the opponent chooses to come into their third, and it's going to be high Swampert by Swampert. Swampert gets absolutely one-shot. Tie switches out into Ninetales to catch the charge move. Stone Edge is super effective, but Ninetales far too thick, and that is all she wrote. GG's, and thanks for playing. Moving on to the next one. We see the battle of the snowmen. The opponent instantly pivots out into the flying toilet Pelipper. We go straight for the Weather Ball. Weather Ball does land for decent neutral damage. We look to snipe with Kingdra. Pelipper makes the Hurricane a 1 HP and a Dream. Ty chooses to no shield. We get one shot. We do commit to the Powder Snow farm down. The opponent now re-enters the Abomasnow mirror. We're on Powder Snow. The opponent is on Razor Leaf. We hit for neutral. They hit for resisted, but holy smokes, the Razor Leaves are far outweighing the damage of the Powder Snows. We're far spammier. We draw a shield with the first Weather Ball. The second Weather Ball draws the final shield from the opponent, but guess what, Mr. Opponent? We have the absolute wall to all of your energy. Tie, no shields. We are looking to Fire Spin farm all the way down. The opponent switches out into Swampert. Usually Ninetales would have an absolutely dreadful matchup, but Ty still has 2 shields to hide behind. He's going to over farm as much as possible. We are now all shields down. Can Ty clutch up this game? He's going to over farm as much as possible. We are going for the resisted overheat. It's like an absolute truck. It's night. Sleep tight Swampert, and Abomasnow is about to be food, as this Weather Ball is going to be all she wrote. GG's, and thanks for playing. Ty putting on an absolute clinic in energy management, clutching up that game. In the next battle, we see Abomasnow into Polygraph. Dynamic Punch would do massive damage. Likewise, Energy Ball would also hit like a truck. Ty commits a shield on the Dynamic Punch, and the opponent aggressively switches out into Blaziken, and Ty answers with Kingdra. The opponent goes for the Blaze Kick, and Ty calls the bait. The opponent is now going to get farmed all the way down. So from a pretty dreadful spot, Ty is now sitting pretty. I believe a Bastidon is lurking in the back. I've seen a smackdown, and it is the dreaded Wallface. Octazooka does hit for super effective, but let's not kid ourselves. Octazooka is pretty dreadful. It's now going to be Ninetales taking on the mighty wall. We are getting hit for super effective. Fire does hit the rock steel typing for neutral. Tough decision to make. Ty choosing to shield up the Ninetales. Let's see if the opponent lets this move go. I think we are going to lose this battle, but Ty fires off the Weather Ball. The opponent does commit their final shield, and Ty now out here serving that wham bam combo play. The Big Mac and the fries. Energy Ball takes care of Wallface. Polygraph left with very little energy, so Abomasnow is going to outpace to the second Energy Ball and clean up in style. GG's. The win con in that last matchup for the opponent would be just to let Bastidon go, come in with Poliwrath, Mud Shot down, and double dynamic punch our Abomasnow to the face. But what do I know? Moving on to the next battle, we see Abomasnow into Pelipper. We draw early shield advantage. Ty this time looking to shield up a potential Hurricane and a Great Shield on Ty's part. The opponent was not baiting. This is just a weather ball, so Ty can easily let this go. The double resisted weather ball does absolutely nothing. The opponent now switches out into Poliwrath. They have one shield remaining. Ty not baiting. Poliwrath gets near one shot. We Dragon Breath farm them all the way down, back out. Comes Pelipper. Kingdra commits to the Dragon Breath farm down, and it's Frostlass in the back. Holy smoke, this opponent's in trouble. Octazooka draws the final shield. Ty aggressively switches out into Abomasnow just to absorb some energy. He's not going to shield this up. Avalanche takes us out, and this Frostlass is now about to get absolutely cooked. Ty waits out his timer, comes in to Ninetales. Ninetales can tank any one move, so Ty doesn't have to shield this up. He is going to commit his shield. The opponent does go for the bait, but no master baiting is going to save this opponent, and that is a good game. Moving on to the next battle, we see Abomasnow into Ludicolo. Pretty good matchup. Ty gets a low battery warning, but that isn't going to save the opponent's Ludicolo from the wrath of the Shadow Snowman. They switch out into Pelipper. Ty throws the first weather ball. They no shield, so Ty says, have another one. He takes his shield advantage, switches out into Kingdra. We've already seen Hurricane absolutely one-shot, so Ty is going to shield it up. And they do straight full send the Hurricane. Kingdra commits to the Dragon Breath farm down. If Ludicolo does return, Kingdra is only going to take neutral due to Dragon resisting grass and water taking super effective. The opponent actually chooses to show their third, which is Lantern. The opponent calls the bait, and Ty nukes the absolute life out of this Lantern outrage. Near one shots, Thunderbolt takes out Kingdra. In comes Ninetales, and the opponent really needs to reach for that top left, as this is absolutely over. Ty can easily shield up. Whatever they throw, they go for the resisted Ice Beam. And finally, the opponent concedes the match. Moving on to the next one. Nightmare lead Abomasnow into Blaziken. We pivot into Ninetales. We're hard punished with a Greninja, a super spicy pick from the opponent. Things are looking dreadful. Surf will be one shot, but the opponent goes for the Night Slash. We survive, and Ty reaches the overheat. Does the opponent respect the damage? They do not. Night, sleep tight Greninja. Ninetales is a Greninja counter confirmed. You heard it here first. Ty somehow has flipped switch, and we have got the alignment that we want. As Shadow Abomasnow wants no part of that Blaziken. Ty now going for a very risky bait. The opponent calls the bait, and I actually think they've left the battle. Ty waits for him to come back in. I can see why they've quit, because let's not kid ourselves. If your Greninja gets beat by a fire type, you probably should uninstall the game. Moving on to the next one. We see Shadow Abomasnow into Cradilly. The Powder Snow and Weather Ball spam is going to be very oppressive. Cradilly commits an early shield. Ty needs to be mindful of the potential Stone Edge, that will be one-shotting. The opponent full sends the Stone Edge and now aggressively switch out into Kingdra. Ty building up a boatload of energy and going straight for the energy ball. The opponent is going to commit the final shield. Ty now switches out into Kingdra. We've got one shield remaining. Ty calling the Octazooka bait, and this opponent is full sending the nukes. Outrage vanquishes us. Back to our Pokeball. Ty now looking to resisted Fire Spin farm all the way down. Kingdra makes a move on 1 HP and a Dream. Ty shields up the Octazooka. We get debuffed. You hate to see it. The opponent's final Pokemon is a Lantern. We are double debuffed, and Weather Ball actually heals the Lantern. Ty makes one more Weather Ball. This is going to do around 3 HP damage. Lantern now super healthy. Ty aggressively switches out into his Abomasnow. We make the Energy Ball on what looks like a charge move priority event. Energy Ball does massive damage. That's more like it. Back out comes Cradilly, and Cradilly is about to eat a Weather Ball to the face, and Abomasnow puts the team on its back and carries us to a glorious victory. Moving on to the next one. Great lead Abomasnow into Lantern. The opponent instantly pivots out into Frostlass, and we have the perfect response with our Ninetales. We lose CMP. The opponent full sends the Shadow Ball. That does massive damage. Weather Ball will be knocking out. Let's see if the opponent attempts to flip switch. They are going for it. Can they Powder Snow farm us down? No, they cannot. We simul KO. Despite not having switched Tai in a great spot, as both our Pokemon are pretty good against Lantern. Tai comes in to Kingdra, and it's a Razor Leaf Abomasnow. In the back, Kingdra goes for the Octazooka if the opponent commits the final shield. This is game over. The opponent does commit the final shield. It's a simul swap. We are now 2 shields up in a matchup that is pretty much unlosable. The opponent goes for the Surf. The Snowman shrugs it off. Tai over farms, throws the Energy Ball on a CMP. Tai Energy Ball will hopefully knock out. The opponent survives on 1 HP and a Dream, but in reality this is probably better. Tai can shield up the Surf, commit to the Powder Snow farm down. Weather Ball will be taking care of the Abomasnow, but holy smokes, Tai, as always, going for the BM Energy Ball, hits Abomasnow in the face, and that is all she wrote. GG's, and thanks for playing. Moving on to the next battle, Abomasnow into Ludicolo. As you've seen throughout the video, every other Abomasnow we have seen is on Razor Leaf. Tai showing that Powder Snow is the way to go, because in matchups like this against other Razor Leafers, Abomasnow absolutely goes off on the Powder Snow moveset. We get a shield from the Ludicolo. They're now super low. Tai can easily commit a shield here. Powder Snow them all the way down and leave with residual energy. Good to go, and that is exactly the play that he goes for. Tai looking to bank this energy and pivot out into Kingdra, and would you look at that, yet another Razor Leaf. Abomasnow Razor Leaf, generate energy, super slow. The opponent pivots out into Lantern. They still have 1 shield remaining. Do they respect the outrage? They do not. Get wrecked, Lantern. The easiest no shield of Tai's life. Kingdra has done its job. Surf even resisted, takes us out. We come in to Abomasnow. Tai wasn't lagging. It looks like he was just stood there as a bit of a BM. We fire off the Energy Ball. The opponent shields it up, but guess what, Mr. Opponent, we have Ninetales. Even if the opponent is on outrage, which I highly doubt, they're not going to one-shot. It's just a Weather Ball, and Ninetales says get fucked. Razor Leaf. Moving on to the next one. Abomasnow into Kingdra. Pretty neutral. Tai going straight for the Weather Ball, looking to put some early shield pressure on the opponent. The opponent lets it go. We now look to snipe with our Kingdra. The opponent far too slow to react, and they quickly top left. Not happy with Tai's snipe. Moving on to the next one. Abomasnow into Swampert. You love to see it. The opponent pivots out into Cradily. Not really a response for Abomasnow. We shield up a potential Stone Edge. We get baited. You hate to see it. However, this Weather Ball is going to do massive damage or get our shield back. The opponent lets it go. Abomasnow commits to the Powder Snow farm down. We are down a shield. We have 1 very healthy Abomasnow. The opponent's final Pokemon is Pelipper, so Tai recognising that Ninetales is pretty much dead weight, so he pivots out into it, just looking to do as much damage as possible. We survive the Weather Ball, 1 HP and a Dreamer. Return fire with our own Weather Ball. Pelipper chooses to commit a shield. We now come in to Kingdra. Tough decision to make. The opponent has enough for a Hurricane. Last second shield, and what a shield it is. The opponent now brings back out the Swampert. Dragon Breath ripping through the opponent. Tai goes for the Octazooka. The opponent lets it go. Holy smokes, what are they saving that shield for? Earthquake will be taking us out, but we can now Powder Snow farm them all the way down. Pelipper is energy dry. This Weather Ball will be drawing the final shield, and the second Weather Ball will be knocking out, and that is going to be all she wrote. Tai actually goes for the Energy Ball, recognising that they were nowhere near a Hurricane, and we go for the big hard-hitting nuke just for no reason whatsoever. Well, I say no reason. It's always good to BM and assert your dominance. So those were the battles from Tai, as always. Brilliant entertainment, beautiful gameplay, and a very fun, unique team. I actually really like how he is using Powder Snow in this meta. I've got no idea why everyone else is running Razor Leaf. To be honest, Abomasnow is pretty good because it is so spammy. It's only 5, then 4 Powder Snows, 2 each Weather Ball. Oh, it's pretty good offensive typing, so if you're going to use Abomasnow, perhaps you should be like Tai and also use the Powder Snow variant. So if you're enjoying the content, smash that like button if you're new. Consider subscribing if you'd like to be like Tai and get your battles featured on the channel. Link to my battle submission form is down below. I'd just like to say thanks for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.